This is episode 399.2.a
.2.
of the Area 2 and 0 podcast. Apologies for the problems that we had, the technical difficulties. So Joe dropped off because he had that Marbach nice electricity over there. That's what people were saying on the chat.
Yeah.
I dropped off because I was not the quote unquote host of the show.
Yeah.
So I dropped off there. But join us now is Elias. You know him as Plead the Sith, his new podcast going on the Sweep the League Network.
What's
Sithy, what's
up?
going on, my man? How have you been?
Pretty good, bro. Pretty good. I just I moved my office closer to the Wi-Fi, so I'm not so delayed.
Very cool, man. Very cool. Yeah, man, we got dropped off. So, Joe, what happened, man? Lights went out?
Yeah. So I don't know, man. It just lost power here in the air, and the whole block. Everything was out, and the only reason you were able to stay on for a little bit is because I have a big old backup battery bank here that I use for work. I have this desktop computer hooked up to it, and I have another one over here for my work computer. So we were able to go for a little bit, but then when everything booted back up again, the router upstairs for AT&T fiber, it
Yeah.
takes a minute or two to come back on because the power just came back on. So I had to wait for that to connect, even though everything was ready to go. But we're back nonetheless. This is
We were
part two.
we were fearful because we thought ICE had took you. You're like, ICE
Ah,
had gone
no,
in there, grabbed your ass, and threw you in the back of an unmarked van.
Man,
no,
I thought Jerry Jones heard you talking, Joe, and he just pulled the plug on you.
no, that happened. If that happened, like they needed me right away, and I had to go somewhere, they probably send a helicopter, bro, or a black truck or something, and be like, "You got to go now." I'm like, "All right."
Hey, Mike, I don't think it was ice because y'all just added another straight up Mexican to the stream, bro.
Yeah,
So
but they don't bother with Carrizo Springs, man. They're like, nah, we're good. That's too far.
I don't
that's
know,
that's
man.
that's too ethnic.
That's too
There's a
ethnic out there.
$2,000 bounty, Mike. I said I'm gonna go ahead and uh trade him in. I'm gonna take him in just like they do with Dog the Bounty Hunter. Collect
Yeah.
that two thousand
And
dollar
you know
bounty.
those bounties are crap, right? Kind of like those Doge checks everyone was supposed to get, right?
Oh yeah, you never get
Oh,
paid, bro.
I'm waiting for those $5,000 Doge checks that were supposed to happen that never did, man. All of it just full of
Man,
crap.
I know it's BS because I would have had some family members turned in by now, bro. I'm trying to get that bank.
Yeah, you got to step over a few people if you want to climb to the top, baby. That's all that needs to be done. Well, let's talk about some sports. We were talking about the Dallas Cowboys. Sith, you a Cowboy fan?
Man, I'm a reborn Cowboy fan, bro. So my mom,
Wait a minute.
I was rolling with the Packers for a good while until Aaron Rodgers lost his marbles, and I'm like, I need a new team to roll with. It's not a Sancha team. It's always been a part of my family. Um, but yeah, I went back, became a Dallas Cowboy fan, and this was pre Dak Prescott, so don't call me a bandwagoner, right? I was still rolling with Tony Romo, but I just can't do it with Jerry Jones anymore, bro. It's he's evil personified. Like he needs to go. He's ruining the franchise. And I've only been a fan for about 8 years, 8 or 9 years.
But you're not old enough to remember the Cowboys' glory years, man. And for somebody who is a lifelong Cowboy hater, the '90s sucked for me, dude, because you had those 3 Super Bowls in 4 years and all. And keep in mind, back then, the Cowboys bought 2 of those Super Bowls. You could say they bought all 3. There was no salary cap for 2 of those years. And there was an arms race, no different than the Yankees and the Dodgers just basically outbidding each other for all the best players. The Cowboys did go out and draft well. The Cowboys did fleece the Minnesota Vikings and that Herschel Walker deal to get all those first round draft picks to be able to flip these players for compensatory picks and all that stuff. Cowboys did an amazing job when it came to all that. But then also when it came to the big name talent, though, the Charles Haleys, the Deion Sanders of the world and all that stuff, that costs money. And it was the Cowboys' ability to overspend. Salary cap got instituted midway through their run there. The deck was stacked. They won with Barry Switzer. But man, since February of 1996, it's been crickets, man. Not even a conference championship, not even a conference championship game. They've been sitting there in beyond mediocrity. It's not mediocrity. It is worse than that. And the Cowboys right now, according to ESPN, have the 18th best roster in the NFL. I'm like, what is the high end for the Cowboys? Like, if all things go to form, everything clicks. They have injuries, like very few injuries and all that stuff. Dak Prescott stays upright. I still don't see them winning more than 11 games. I still don't see them winning that division. You got the Eagles, you got the Commanders. Joe, what's the upside for the Cowboys? Like what's the ceiling for the Cowboys this year?
8 games, 8 to 9 wins. That's about it. Show improvement from the prior season. Show that your trajectory is on the upward cycle, not the downward cycle. And
Yeah.
just pray, that you can go ahead and continue to get better. You have something to build on. I think right now this season could best be summed up as a momentum changer. You want to show that you're getting better, that you can compete. The team is looking a lot better under new leadership now, and just build upon that. But Jerry throwing a little chink in the armor here by opening his mouth, that doesn't help your cause any. It's going to create more turmoil in the locker room. How is that conversation going to go when he sees Micah in person? Oh, I didn't mean to say that. I didn't mean to offend you. Yeah, you did. Say it with your chest out, Jerry. Don't back down. Double down on your bad take or whatever it is. Say, yeah, I said it. And, if that means that Micah's gone, then, Jerry's going to go ahead and eat crow and be like, oh, well, I messed up. I shouldn't have said that. He's gone. But could you afford him anyway? Probably not. I think he's going to be gone anyway.
Joe, do you go back in time and look at the Jimmy Johnson years and think to yourself, wow, that might have been an all-time great head coach, but at the time we didn't realize it? Because it's not like he went off and did anything anywhere else. He just went back into the booth. He started, he was good in college with Miami, won a chip there, goes to the NFL, wins two Super Bowls, sets up the table for a third Super Bowl, developed that team. That was Jimmy. That was not Jerry. But now Jimmy Johnson, he didn't do anything after that, right? He just exited stage left. I don't think that people give Jimmy Johnson the flowers that he should have gotten beyond just what Jerry Jones, the way that he's been treated. I think Jimmy Johnson's been amazing for so long. And oh my God,
battle cry.
Is that you?
That's the battle cry for next season. That's what's going to happen.
Man, that's foul, Joe. You didn't have to post that today, brother.
I told you, every time the Cowboys lose a game coming up next season, I'm rolling with this. Every single time they lose.
Man, I'm so disappointed in what this franchise has become just these past years. So our expectations went from the Super Bowl back to let's see if we could get into the playoffs. It almost parallels what's happening over with the Spurs, don't you think? A whole new rehashing in schemes and brand new coach and whatnot. And now our expectations went from Super Bowls, parallel NBA championships, now to getting back to the playoffs. It's just ridiculous, bro. Us as fans, we're settling for mediocrity, and it's just shit. And now I'm not saying Coach Pop is as bad as Jerry Jones, because he's not. Who knows what he's going to do at the president position. But when you have the likes of Jerry Jones pulling the strings over in Arlington, it's just not good business. And his son is just as much as a dumbass as he is, So, like I've said, we're headed down a bad path, especially with the way they're treating our star players and whatnot. And best believe Micah's gonna have something to say on his podcast. He spends more time recording than he does practicing, if we're being honest.
So it begins, Alliance and Mike. Look at what JJ Watt had said, and Micah Parsons retweeted that per CBS Sports. And it says, anytime you publicly take a dig at your star quarterback and your pass rusher simultaneously right before the season begins, you just got to take it. He goes, nothing makes guys want to fight for you more than hearing how upset you are that they got hurt while fighting for you.
Right.
It's ridiculous. I saw some Cowboys fans trying to spin it, saying, well, he's trying to light a fire under their asses. Bro, this isn't a movie. You're disrespecting your star players. They're not gonna huddle back and come win the Super Bowl just because you started insulting them. This isn't Friday Night Lights or Varsity Blues, whatever movie you want to connect to this. It's just not going to work out. You don't go around breaking down your best players and expect them to show off for you. That's just not how it works in the real world.
I like the way that you said that there, but my question though is, right now when it comes to the future of the Cowboys, we talk about Jerry Jones. The guy is going to be 83 years old, right? So he's not going to be there forever, though it seems like he is. When you look at the Cowboys, though, do you think that they're better off with Stephen Jones? Because Stephen Jones has shown the exact same arrogance that Jerry Jones has shown. Stephen Jones has had tone deaf remarks that he's made about fans and about what the fans are thinking. Because he has been saying been blowing fans off, saying, "Yeah, they might have some apathy towards us, but we're still the most successful franchise in the NFL. We're still worth the most amount of money. We sell the most merch." And it's like they don't realize how apathetic Cowboy fans were last year. Last year was the first season that I can recall Cowboy fans just in mass going, "We're not watching on Sunday." And if they did watch on Sunday, it wasn't intently. It was like on in the background. They were doing other things. They were dipping their heads in and out. I had so many friends over the year last season putting their tickets up for sale on Facebook. Hey, I can't go to the game this weekend, blah, blah, blah. I got this and this going on. When you know for a fact, any other year, any other thing that they had to do would have taken a back seat. But last year it was like, I can't make it. I don't want to spend the money. It was kind of funny. But now Cowboys have an excellent draft, and all of a sudden the Cowboy fans are thinking we got Jadon Blue. We got Jadon Blue, Joe. Jadon Blue.
Who?
Fifth rounder for a reason, man.
You know what? Stephen Jones, to me, and we were talking about who's going to be the lesser of two evils. I don't think it's going to get any better with Stephen Jones. I think Stephen Jones is cut from the same cloth, the same cloth of arrogance, thinking that they know better than everybody else. So I don't know. I don't think the Cowboys are going to be in any a better situation than they are right now with Jerry. I think it's going to be more of the same.
Joe,
Man, and to top it off, not just they don't share just the same sentiments, right? Like Jerry Jones, Stephon Jones are two of the same, but their genetics, Mike. If we can't get rid of Jerry Jones at 83, just expect that motherfucker. Oh, sorry, I don't want to cuss on you. Just expect that MF.
One per show. One per show.
You already said your one.
I was about to repeat it too, man. That means we could expect Stephen Jones to live and be around just as much, bro, barring an accident. So that Jones curse is gonna live on for at least the next century, if we're being honest. We might even get a AI Jerry Jones after this, just keeping the franchise down. It's crazy.
Well, the big news of the last night from the Cowboys, Micah Parsons. Whether or not he's going to report or not.
You're taking the over-under, Mike? I say no.
Well, I mean, the workouts begin today, and it appears as though Micah Parsons will show up according to ESPN, so at least he's doing that. But Mike Florio of Pro Football Talk coming out today and saying that he knows what's going to happen. What's going to end up happening is that Jerry Jones is not going to offer the extension this year. Going to tell him to play it out. Let's say that Micah Parsons does ball out this year, makes the All-Pro team, makes the Pro Bowl, all that stuff. He'll still get lowballed next year.
Well, so Jerry's going to have to go ahead and pay him.
Well, why?
He's not. If he wants him.
But what if Parsons demands a trade?
Trade his ass. You know what his name's going to be, Mike? Gone.
And you know what his name's going to be? Happy.
Probably. No lies detected. No lies detected. Once he sniffs what a real NFL team does, and not the circus that is the Dallas Cowboys, he's going to be all, Mira, I should have moved out sooner.
Yeah, just look
a tight end that plays for the Texans.
Exactly. Dalton Schultz, about to bring him up. Once he got transferred out to once he got traded to the Texans, he was bragging about how this is an actual football facility and not organization and not a circus act. Or I think he compared them to a zoo exhibit, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
that's crazy to me. But I've said if we're not going to keep Micah Parsons, if that's not part of the future, well then trade him off and get at least 2 or 3 defensive players back for him. That way he has good trade value. He's arguably one of the best backs in the whole league. I mean, why not try and get your money's worth if you don't plan on keeping him? Instead of pissing him off, then just start shopping him around respectfully. Let him move on with his career before y'all take the best of his years, right? Look what they did to DeMarco Murray. Look what they did to Marion Barber. All wasted careers because they kept them hostage. They got to cut the ties and either pay the man or let him go, in my opinion.
Meantime, the Houston Texans, according to ESPN, have the 11th best roster in the league. They are low key pretty deep, man. I'm taking a look at this at their depth chart right now. CJ Stroud, Davis Mills, it's QB1 and QB2. Going out and getting Nick Chubb. Okay, now I know this is not the Nick Chubb of 3 years ago, but when Nick Chubb is your backup running back and he's still just 29 years old, Nick Chubb backing up Joe Mixon, that's pretty good. Of course, you've got Christian Kirk now going over there as wide receiver. So you have Collins, Christian Kirk. You have Tank Dell coming back from injury. John Mechie, who's done very well for them. Dalton Schultz at tight end. The question is, can the offensive line stay intact for the Texans? Because if they can, that's going to be a pretty explosive offense. Defensively, though, Will Anderson and Daniil Hunter and Derek Stingley with the new deal, getting C.J. Gardner-Johnson from the Saints last year. This might be a bounce back year for the Texans because last year there was something wrong with them. I don't know what was wrong with the Texans last year. Yes, they did have injuries to Mixon, and they did have injuries all across the board. Tank Dell, Nico Collins was out for a while. But for some reason, it seemed like they didn't have any focus last year. For whatever reason, sophomore slump for CJ Stroud, I guess you can call it. But I expect a bounce back this year. And I think their schedule is a lot easier than the Cowboys this year. So I'm thinking, what do you think, Joe? 11 wins, 11-6? Houston Texans, 10-7?
But the problem with the Houston Texans is that they have a good team. They have good talent on there. They're well coached. I think what happens a lot of times with them is adjustments. Even though they have a great coach and all that, I think it comes to second half adjustments. If you look and see what happened with the Texans, notoriously when they would have their issues, it wasn't so much in the first half, it was so much in the second half, trying to make those adjustments, trying to, I guess, scheme against the adjustments that were made against them. I think teams have found out about CJ Stroud. They know how to scheme against him. So I don't think it's just, sophomore slump. I think he's just going to have to go ahead and learn to play smarter. He has the talents there around him to go ahead and throw to. He has the knowledge. He has a good arm. I think he just needs to go ahead and play smarter, learn how to play within the pocket. If you have an opportunity to run for a couple of yards, be smart about it. Don't be stupid. Go ahead and slide. It's going to help you extend your career. You don't need to take unnecessary hits. Another thing, too, is I think he needs to just learn that, sometimes just taking the sack might be the right move. You just can't get stupid and be like, I'm just going to throw the ball. Interception. Sometimes taking the loss for 3 yards, 4 yards is the best play, instead of trying to find the open man or throw it away. So I think it's just more of him putting his tools together and that knowledge together. But I think they're going to be a better team this upcoming season. I think they're going to learn from their mistakes. I can see them going and maybe, making a stronger push into the playoffs.
Do you guys like what you see going back to the Cowboys, bouncing back and forth? I believe in the Texans this year because I believe in DeMeco Ryans. I think that he's a leader. I think that the players rally around him. But the Cowboys have Brian Schottenheimer as head coach. First time as a head coach, 51 years old. He's been coaching for 25 years. His family is the Schottenheimer family, which is notorious for being known as being NFL coaching tree. They have a coaching tree within their own family, right?
Yeah.
Are you excited about Brian Schottenheimer, what you've seen about him so far? Because it seems like he's trying to have accountability and a little bit more discipline than years past compared to a Jason Garrett, compared to other coaches that have been there for the Cowboys in the past 2 decades. Do you like what you see so far, Brian Schottenheimer?
I think the verdict is out on him. Schottenheimer, we haven't seen anything from him as far as him leading the Dallas Cowboys. I think we'll see either it's going to be a welcome change at that head coaching position if the schemes are different and the team looks better and plays better. I'm okay with them losing. The only thing is I want to see them be more competitive, especially against some of the better teams in their division and in the NFL in general. Mm-hmm. Usually when they go ahead and go up against a team with the winning record, what happens? They get their teeth knocked in, right. And you want to see them at least show out and be like, you know what, this is a really close game. The Cowboys are showing you they can compete against the best teams in the NFL. If that can happen on a consistent basis, hey, I'm okay with them losing. They're just, the gap is starting to close a little bit. But if you still see them get blown out under Schottenheimer, you got to question, hey, is he the guy that's going to lead this team for the foreseeable future?
Well, we're
The
seeing this
verdict
with
is
the
still out
Cowboys.
on him.
We're seeing this with the Cowboys and the Spurs. The Spurs right
Yeah.
now having Mitch Johnson as head coach, young guy coming in. He's in his 30s. You have Schottenheimer come in. He's 51, first-time head coach. So he's not young, but he's not old either. He's coming in as a first-year head coach. But the one word that we look at right there, Sam Salinas has it right there, saying one word, puppet.
Yeah.
Do you think that that's what it is, that basically Jerry Jones hired a head coach who's just grateful and thankful to be a head coach and
Yeah.
therefore going to do what Jerry says?
Why don't you ask Sid that question, Elias? What do you think?
Man, I don't know. I don't buy into the whole puppet label yet. I think we have to give him at least 3 games to see how he's gonna, what schemes and whatnot he goes with. Because that's very telling. Jerry Jones has, at least under the Mike McCarthy era, had a lot to say about who's playing who and what time. I mean, look at the running back battle when Mike McCarthy was there. It was all favoritism. We all knew that Jerry Jones had a liking to Deuce Vaughn, so he was getting these touches that he didn't deserve, in my opinion. So if he starts doing stuff like that, then for sure he's Jerry Jones' puppet or Steven's puppet. But we just don't have anything to play off of that yet. I like the moves he's been doing this offseason. Building his own coaching staff from the bottom up. He's putting together quite not an Avenger-esque team, but it's not so bad. I mean, he's going out scouting coaches, and he's actually filling up the positions quite nicely. And I like what he's doing with the players as well. He's taking his time to talk to them on the side, kind of let them know, ask where they're most comfortable at. And he lets them know the expectations for the season. For example, Cavante Turpin, if I'm not mistaken, he was one of the first ones to reach out and actually scold him. Mike McCarthy would have left that for Jerry Jones, but he seems to be taking his role seriously. I just hope it's not a puppet situation like people are implying. But I don't trust in Brian yet, but I'm hopeful. Then again, I'm hopeful we win the Super Bowl every year. So
you're not gonna go get your Schottenheimer jersey, no?
I'm gonna get him tattooed on my neck if we win the championship.
At the end of the day, they got no running game. At the end of the day, they have a brittle Dak Prescott back there. At the end of the day, they have the second hardest schedule in the entire NFL.
Yeah.
Now here's the thing, though. The Cowboys might be able to get off to a fast start because you're going to know whether this team has any chance of making the playoffs after 6 weeks because they got to get some of these games, right? So to start the season, on the road, Thursday Night Football, September 4th, against the Philadelphia Eagles, Super Bowl champions. That's an 0-1. They ain't going to win that game.
Dak Prescott owns the Eagles, bro. Come on.
What's that?
I said Dak and the Cowboys own the Eagles. Come on, bro.
Oh, I don't do that whole historical thing unless it's Green Bay owning the Cowboys.
Say the Eagles' name right. Say their Eagles' name right. They're called La Lechuzas Cagadas, dude.
They're called the champion.
No, Lechuzas Cagadas.
They're called the Super Bowl champions. Then the Cowboys host the New York Giants, who are trash. So that's a 1-1. Then they host the Chicago Bears. I mean, the Bears, man, that's an interesting lineup over there. That's a pretty good roster over there. I think that's going to go 1-2. Then the Cowboys play the Green Bay Packers. That's a team that owns the Cowboys. You want to talk about a team that owns the Cowboys? Green Bay does. That's a 1-3 start. Then they got the Jets. So the Cowboys are going to be sitting there 2-3, which they're both their wins against the New York teams, like the Giants and the Jets. Then they got the Panthers, the Commanders, and the Broncos. I see the Cowboys going best case scenario 5-3, more than likely 4-4 through 8 games. So the Cowboys will be sitting there 4-4. Cowboy fans will be like, "We're all excited, baby. We're all excited."
You know what, Mike? You're gonna be rooting for the Cowboys to have a losing record, right? And he's also going to be rooting for the Saints to have a losing record, and they better not win a damn game in the first 8 games of the season, or Mike will be pissed, bro.
No, he's not going to be pissed because Saints Saints fans, they celebrate their losses for some damn reason.
He's going to wear the paper bag. Aints. It's going to say Aints.
Mike, that's loser mentality, bro. And I know what you're gonna say. We won a Super Bowl more recently than y'all have. It doesn't matter. We have 5. Y'all have what? 1, 2. Man, y'all's record.
Yeah,
It's
well,
gonna.
yeah, but in the 21st century we have one, man. So let's just call it what it is.
Yeah.
I
They
mean,
have
Blue.
one, but they couldn't keep the lights on in their stadium though.
Ours is on Blu-ray, man. Yours is on VHS.
Blu-ray. They have it on DVD, Mike. Don't get so ahead of
Well, what I
yourself,
like
bro.
about the Cowboy schedule is that overall, for the extent of the schedule, it's like super easy, or at least relatively manageable, the first 11 to 12 games. But then they've got Murderers Row to end the year. Eagles, Chiefs, Lions, Vikings, Chargers, Commanders to end the year. Just Cowboys going to go 1-5 on that 6-game stretch right there. Cowboys going to be excited, man. Cowboy fans going to be really excited. They'll be like 6-3, because they're playing Arizona, because they're playing the Giants, and they're playing the Jets, and then they're going to hit once there's a chill in the air, Joe, Elias. Once there's a chill in the air and summer's over, they're going to start losing. It always
That
happens.
is. It seems like the NFL deliberately put the schedule together like that just to blue ball us Cowboy fans. It's like, oh, y'all are about to make the playoffs, and boom,
Kill the momentum.
y'all get the last 4 Super Bowl winners back to back to back to back. So it's an awful prank to the Dallas Cowboy franchise fans. I mean, I'm hopeful, but damn, that second half of the schedule was rough, Mike.
You know what I'm hopeful for? That I'm going to be playing this. I'm going to put this out there a lot, bro. I can't wait, man.
I'm going to have to block you during the season, Joe.
Is it or is it not Sith? That's what I want to know.
It is him, man. That was a picture they took of him on the Jumbotron. No, it's not, bro. It's AI, but it's a good picture nonetheless.
Very nice.
I remember.
My favorite photo is that one girl who's holding onto her boyfriend or whatever, and he's just
the side piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my wife knows absolutely nothing about sports, right? So last year we were watching the wild card games, and for the first 2 games ended, we get to the third one. She looks at me and she's not being an ass or anything. She's like, "Babe, what time do the Cowboys play?" It's like they didn't make the playoffs. She's like, "But they're good, aren't they?" And I was like, "All right." I was like, "All right, now you're getting me mad." She's like,
let me go ahead and put that back up then.
Yeah, bro. She told me, she's like, "You just bought a CeeDee Lamb jersey. I thought you bought it because they're good." I was like, I'm repping the franchise regardless. She's like, "Maybe that's the problem. You guys support them too much and they don't give enough back."
You know what you should tell her, Elias? You said, "You know what? If I rep them, you rep them. That's why they lost, because you didn't wear a jersey." She has to have the matching jersey with you, man. Hey, but we got an incoming super chat here from Jason Garcia. We didn't get to his other one because the stream ended and I wasn't able to show it because we lost power. Apologies, Jason, but we'll show this one.
Money talk. Here comes the money.
Is bust out the VHS from Blockbuster for the Cowboys.
30 years, Joe. How can they call themselves America's team, be the richest team in all of the NFL, have the most ratings out of all teams in the NFL, and have the audacity to call themselves America's team if they haven't even gone to a conference championship game, much less a Super Bowl in 30 years? That I think right now, Joe, once we hit 30 years, because it's going to be 30 years, the whole moniker, the whole name America's team is going to be more of a dig at the Cowboys than, hey, look at us. We are America's team. It's going to be like, hey, look, it's America's team. America's team. That's what it's turning into.
America's team. And you know why
because NFL
and some of the other people
70s.
get so upset. Some of the other fans get upset. They hate us because they ain't us. You know what? 5-time Super Bowl champ. Doesn't matter what era they were in. They're still America's team until you tell me otherwise.
It was created by NFL Films.
You know what? The Cowboys don't even have to say it. Other people call it America's team. Call us America's team.
Yeah, and very well may have been in the 70s.
They're still relevant now. You know what? They're probably the most watched NFL team, whether you hate them or love them, because even the haters watch the games. If the haters are watching the Cowboy games more than they watch their own team, you're a fan. Thank you.
Yeah, that's telling something. Exactly, Joe. Everyone likes to hate on the Cowboy games. Mike, how many Cowboy games did you tune into last season? And don't say you were covering it just for this show. You enjoyed
I
watching
tuned into
Dak
I tuned into
Prescott out
more
there
than I probably saw all but 3.
because you're a fan,
Uh,
low key.
no, I watch every single Saints game. Here's my fall. I watch every single Saints game. I watch most Cowboy games, and I watch most Texans games. I watch all 3 of them because that's what we talk about on the show, right? That's what I do. I watch most Texas UT football games. I watch all the UTSA football games. So I watch a lot of football in the fall. A&M can screw themselves. I don't watch A&M football. Why? I already know they're going to win 8 games and then lose in the
You know what? We
the
got
bowl
one
game.
of our fans sent this over in the media share. They caught a picture of Mike when you froze. That was a good one, bro. That's a good one.
Looks
I'm
like
sure
your
Hef is gonna get a hold of that right there.
Looks like he's hand driving or something, trying to
Doing
keep
something, man.
the PG thing,
And then we got another one coming in here from the media share. Somebody sharing with us. We appreciate you guys interacting with us. And this one came through, and it's just saying Dallas Cowboys versus New Orleans Saints. The following is a list of regular season and postseason games between the Dallas Cowboys and New Orleans Saints. The Cowboys and Saints rivalry has been played 32 times, with the Dallas Cowboys winning 18 games and the New Orleans Saints winning 14. Cowboys.
What did Janet Jackson sing back in the day, Joe?
I don't know.
What have you done for me lately?
It don't matter. We still own you all's ass,
dude. No,
right,
man,
Joe,
no.
I'm
not gonna sit here as a Spurs fan 20 years from now talking about Tim, Tony, and Manu, dude. The way the Cowboy fans talk about Troy, Emmett, and Michael, I'm not going to, dude, because it's like these guys are all senior citizens now, man. If you got Emmett Smith, Michael Irvin, and Troy Aikman, and you took them to Denny's, they would all get the senior citizens discount. And you guys are like, but we got 5. We got 5. Mira. Boys to
no mames otra vez.
You don't even have a quarterback right now, Mike.
That's good.
God.
It is better to be 0-17 than it is to be 9-8 in the NFL. You're either taking the elevator to the top or you're taking the elevator to the bottom. The worst place to be is 8-9, 9-8. It's the same in the NBA as well. Elevator to the top, elevator to the bottom. There's no shame in going to the elevator to the bottom. Look at the Spurs. Elevator to the bottom got who? Elevator to the bottom got Wemby. It got Dylan Harper. It got Stephon Castle, right? But when the elevator was at the middle, Joe, when the elevator was at the middle, Elias, who were we getting? Vassell, Sohan. Come on, man.
Ass. Horrible.
Primo, Luka Samanic. When
overrated.
The Spurs are drafted the teens, basura, right? But you take the elevator to the bottom, Castle, Harper, Wemby. Come on, man. It's like that in football, dude. Take the elevator down, you take the elevator up. You don't want to stay in the middle lanes, man. In the middle floors.
I'm a depressed Cowboys fan in rehab, is what Tony Ornelas is saying.
Hey, I'm hopeful.
I'm going to super chat here from Tex-Mex Frank. This one's pretty funny.
Money talk. Here comes the money.
It said, Tex-Mex Frank says, Stat got Mike throbbing. We do have breaking news, though. I'd like to share. Go ahead.
You had to read that with the media chair picture. He said throbbing with that freeze frame. No, don't do that. We ain't trying to lose PF Chang's already.
No, but we got incoming. We got breaking news right here that I'm going to share. I saw this a little while ago, but I'm going to go ahead and share it with everybody now. So San Antonio Spurs legend has signed with the new team. And that is Blake Wesley has agreed to a 1-year deal with the Portland Trailblazers. Look at this son of a bitch. He's going to make more money this coming season or this season, right? Because of his buyout with the Wizards and his new deal with the Blazers. So good on you, King. Go ahead and get your money. But you know what? You know what his name is? Gone.
Joe, can I do a Lerma voice for this one?
Oh, yeah, please do. Please do.
Why do y'all pick on Blake Wesley? He did nothing to y'all, and y'all just a bunch of haters. Y'all hate him the same way y'all hate Sohan.
That's him. He's gonna
That's
say,
Lerma.
"Leave Blake Wesley alone.
I'm
He
so
did
with you, Blake
nothing to
Wesley.
you. I love Sohan." That's what he's gonna say. And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised. Matt's one of these guys that's like, I'm not a Sohan stan. Bro, come on. He would take out his nalga and let Sohan sign it, bro. Come on. Be at the game signing his freaking ass cheek, bro. Come on.
That's wild.
And he wouldn't wash it for like a month or something. You know that's gonna be stinky, bro.
Joe, you know how we like to mix pop culture with it all?
Yeah.
The Cowboys' last Super Bowl victory was January 28th, 1996. The number one song back then was One Sweet Day by Boyz II Men and Mariah Carey. The number one movie, though, let's see here, 1996 list of number one movies. The number one movie on that day was Mr. Holland's Opus. The day before that was From Dusk Till Dawn. That's how long it's been since the Cowboys, since Salma Hayek was back in the day. That's the last time the Cowboys won a Super Bowl. It's been that long, Joe. VHS, dude, DVD had not been invented yet, or had been invented, but it had not been mass produced. By the way, the number one. Go ahead.
As the fact of the matter is, I was in diapers when they won their last Super Bowl. I'll probably be in diapers when they win their next one. If I'm being honest.
It wasn't Pleat the Sith. It was shit in the Sith because you were in Pampers. No, dude, that's how long it's been. My son, that's like 28 years old now, he's like, Dad, he goes, as long as I've been alive, the Cowboys haven't won a damn thing.
But they're America's team.
They are.
But
They are
America's team.
You know
All
what's
right.
funny is that Mike gets angry at that, dude. He gets so
No,
upset
I don't
about
get
it.
angry.
But we're
I
not
don't
the
get
ones
angry.
that are calling them America's
You don't.
team. It's you guys that do it.
You don't realize that you're being mocked. You
They
don't.
call- even-
Cowboy fans are so oblivious that when other people are calling them America's team, we're mocking you.
It's you and the commentators, the NFL commentators. America's team, America's team, America's team. You hear it everywhere you go. America's
The
team.
Cowboys literally
We're not
sold
the
the
ones
merch
saying it.
that.
We're not the ones that say that. It's you guys that say it, and then you get mad because they call them America's team. Well, stop calling America's team, even as a
right.
joke.
All
I'm
right.
staying.
Joe,
I'm staying quiet,
Joe.
but I have a cap that says property of the Dallas Cowboys. So
Joe, you know how we talk about half plus 7 rule? You know, if you become single again, can't be younger than half your age plus 7. The dividing line has to be, as Tony O'Neill points out, in a way, was she born after during a Cowboys Super Bowl run or after? Because if it's after, too young for you, bro. Too young for you. Hey, real fast, how many wins is this team gonna get, Joe? The Clippers roster for 25-26. At point guard, James Harden. Backup point guard, Chris Paul. At shooting guard, Bradley Beal. Backup, Brogdon Bojanovic. At small forward, Kawhi Leonard. Backup, Derek Jones. At power
You can't
forward,
put Kawhi
John
Leonard in
Collins.
there, bro. He plays part-time. He ain't gonna be there the full season.
Hey, Derek Jones ain't no joke, dude. Nicholas Batum, Zubac, Brooke Lopez.
That's a
I
stacked
mean,
team.
that's a stacked team if healthy.
Yeah, but you know Kawhi, his ass ain't gonna be playing, but more than part-time. And then he's good for what? First round of the playoffs, and then he pulls up lame. That's what he does every season, bro. So no mames con Kawhi. But everybody else, I think they're good enough to go ahead and be like maybe a 50, 52 win team.
I mean, that's what I'm saying is that it's a sneaky good team.
Yeah. I no doubt, no lies detected there. I think they're going to be better than advertised, you know. But the problem with the Clippers is, what are they known for? They choke in the playoffs. It doesn't matter what type of league they have. They can be up 3 games. They just need that 4th game, and it ain't going to happen, man.
Jesse A with a comment. That's a stacked team. ... in 2018. That's a pre-COVID championship team right there. Okay, so we saw Chris Paul III announce that he's going back to the Clippers, right? Spurs fans, here's the thing. I typically make fun of Spurs fans when it comes to how they honor past players, right? Especially ones that didn't win any playoff games, didn't break any records, right? Chris Paul going back to the Clippers, though, I will say this: I'm okay with the tribute video. I'll bend the rules a little bit
For one
a
season, is
tribute
there enough
trophy.
footage of him for a tribute video?
Yeah, there's all that one where he almost got into a fight, man. There was that
one.
play.
It's gonna be like a 15-second clip of a tribute video to Chris Paul. But you know what? I wouldn't be upset about it. But I'm just like, after one season, bro, it's like there should be some type of statute of limitations, right? You have to be with the team for a certain amount of seasons and have made an impact on said team in order to have a tribute video made in your likeness, right? When you return to that team, because tribute videos nowadays, everybody gets a tribute video. They should get one to the water boy, the guy that goes out there with the mop and cleans up the sweat. At this point, everyone getting a tribute video now. In my time, tribute videos actually meant something. Nowadays it's like, let's just give everybody a tribute video, just like a participation ribbon nowadays with these kids. You came in 10th place here for participating. No, bro, come on.
It's like Josh Primo needs his own tribute video, and I heard they're going to give him his own towel night,
Well, Chris Paul and Harrison Barnes, two players that the Spurs picked up last year, both played all 82 games last year. There are only a handful of players in the entire NBA who played all 82 games, and they are part of that. So Chris Paul, who we all thought, he's good for 55, 60 games because he's going to get hurt, didn't get hurt last year. But the effects of Chris Paul, and the reason why I'm okay with him getting a tribute video, is because at the very least it was a name signing with the team as a free agent. At the end of his contract, end of his career, yes. 39 years old, going to be 40 this season. But it was nice to see a big name play some significant minutes for the Spurs.
No.
But beyond all that, if Stephon Castle attributes his success to the teachings that he had of having CP3 there, then the effects of having Chris Paul on this team would be a net positive beyond anything else. I know the Spurs didn't make the playoffs. I know they didn't make the play-in. But still, CP3 being here is probably a good thing for the Spurs that last season.
Mike singing CP3's praises. But how soon we forget that we have the clip.
It was a punt.
It was a signal that the Spurs had no intention of winning this season. And it's a punt into the future.
That's what Mike said about CP3 back
in
the
day. Play it again. Play it again.
Let them hear you one more time.
Yeah.
The punt.
It's a punt.
This is a signal that the Spurs have no intention of winning this season. And it's a punt into the future.
Okay. So let's unravel that. Oh my God. I was right. Oh my God. Okay.
They won more games than they did in the previous season. It was a bad take.
Which means that the Spurs were not going to make the playoffs or play in, right? So let's go with that part right there. Did they make the playoffs or the play-in?
No.
Damn well they didn't.
What was it? Was it all about the future at that point and setting themselves up for the future? Yes.
You said it was a punt. You said that they weren't going to be any good.
No, the punt was, and by the way, 34 wins. I know they had injuries and whatnot, but 34 wins. When you say the punt, the context was they weren't going to get a big name player because the Spurs were linked. Like this season, the Spurs were linked to Giannis and they were linked to Kevin Durant and all these big name players, right? Last year, the year before, they were linked to Trae Young. They were linked to other big name players back then. The signing of Chris Paul signaled the fact that they weren't going to go after any of those big name players. That was the punt. They were saying, we're not going to make the playoffs this year. We're not going to make the play-in tournament this season. We're punting off to the next season, and it's going to be a development year. That is what I meant by it was a punt, and that was actual and factual when it all came down to it. So, yes, play that clip as many times as you want. It just proves me right every time it's being played, Joe.
Wasn't the acquisition of De'Aaron Fox contradict your point, though? You said they weren't going for big names.
And you know what Mike has to say to that, Elias? This is Mike's rebuttal. This is Mike's rebuttal.
¿Dónde pegas toda la pura verga? ¡Te trepan a la verga! Mira.
By the time the Spurs got De'Aaron Fox, the season was over. It was a trade deadline in February. The season was over. They weren't going to win with De'Aaron Fox. It was great to have him. I'm glad that he's on this team. But again, if they had gotten De'Aaron Fox in July of last year, they would have been making moves to make the playoffs that year. But by getting De'Aaron Fox when you're the 12th seed or 13th seed and you're like 30 games under 500, that was not a move to make the playoffs at all. Again, it was a future move. Joe, before we go, we got to talk about the sad news that happened in Hollywood yesterday off the coast of Costa Rica. You had actor Malcolm Jamal Warner dead at the age of 54. And Elias might be too young for this. But, Joe, this is right up our alley when it comes to the age, man, because Malcolm Jamal Warner was part of our freaking childhood. There is not one family that grew up back in the day that wasn't watching The Cosby Show. And Elias, back in, right now, growing up in the 2000s, you guys have, streaming, Netflix, Hulu. You guys have on demand and all that stuff. But back in the day, you had to turn on NBC to watch The Cosby Show, and you had to. It was scheduled viewing, that and A Different World later on afterwards. You'd watch that show, Malcolm Jamal Warner playing Theo Huxtable, the son of Bill Cosby's character on the Cosby Show. Him dying, going on a vacation with his daughter and his wife, who, by the way, he never revealed the name of the daughter or the name of his wife to anybody on publicly. It's all a secret because he wanted to keep them, away from the public when it comes to keep privacy right there. But Malcolm Jamal Warner, being swept away by a strong current in the ocean. And it was another person that was also critically injured as well.
Yeah, it was a riptide. Basically, there was 3 people that were stuck in the riptide. One of the 3 was able to get out with no injuries, anything like that. But the other 2 people, Malcolm Jamal Warner, passed on, and another individual is in critical condition still at the hospital. So hopefully he or she will be able to pull through. But no lifeguard on duty, and this is a resort, so that's kind of troublesome. You had no lifeguard on duty. You have a resort where you're having people come out and try to vacation, have a good time. You're responsible for your patrons. So I'm sure there's going to be some type of lawsuit that'll ensue because of this debacle.
Yeah, I'm reading that article right there on TMZ.com saying no lifeguard was on duty when he got swept away at Playa Grande Beach. Costa Rica's volunteer lifeguard group, the Caribbean Guard, said lifeguards patrolled the area in recent years, but at the time of Malcolm Jamal Warner's death, none were present due to lack of resources. That it's a notoriously challenging beach with signs of English and Spanish warning of drowning risks all around the coast there.
Lots of riptides.
I've gone out. I've been blessed and fortunate enough to go to the Dominican Republic, Barbados, and Jamaica in the past year. Now I'm scared, man, because I like to see how far I can go,
Same.
before, and I like to go into the jetties, the rocks, and going all the way out there. He must have gone past that, man. I mean, he had to have done that. But that is crazy. But Sith, you like going? I mean, I'm sure you like going to the coast also. I mean, isn't that a challenge? I want to see if I can hit that rock over there, right? Get all the way out there.
So I've been to the beach maybe 3 times my whole life. The first time I went, I actually did what you said. I want to see how far I could go out there. I've never been to the water. My dumbass was about 50 yards in. I got hit with a maybe 10-foot high wave. Scared the crap out of me. I spent the rest of my time on the shoreline. My wife was kind of like, yeah, that's why you don't go out that far, dummy. And I'm like, well, I didn't respect the water enough.
One thing that y'all don't realize is that sharks only need about the water to come up to your knees in order to get your ass.
Shit, I didn't know anything about that, Joe. It was my first time at the beach. And then she's all like, did you see that jellyfish? And I was like, jellyfish? I'm like, those are real? My dumbass should not have been there.
No, it's all fun and games until you get bumped by a shark. You start going out wade fishing and stuff like that, and you go down the little cuts. So when you're on the Texas coast, you have these little cuts that come down and they come back up again.
Yeah.
like on little sandbars. So during low tide, you can just wade through them like nothing. But when the tide starts to roll in, that's the killing fields because when the water comes through, you get a lot of current, strong currents coming through there.
Mhm.
The sharks and the other predatory fish just wait out there for these other bait fish to get stuck in the current and they just have at them, dude. So when we're out there wade fishing and everything and you have a string of fish and you're trying to get through one of the cuts and you boom get bumped, you're like,
No, I'm checking out.
I saw this nasty ass fish wash ashore there in Galveston, and I'll never go back into Galveston water, dude. I've got to see
the
my
caca
toes.
water.
I got to see my toes when I walk onto a beach, and that's not me being bougie. I want to see what the hell I'm wading into right there, man.
Man,
Look
I
at
was
that caca water of Corpus Christi or of
Port
of
Aransas.
Galveston, Aransas Pass. The worst one apparently is Rockport by levels of
E.
fecal
coli.
matter
Yeah.
and all that stuff over there. No, but I love going. I don't like fish, Joe. But if you all ever have the opportunity to go to a Dominican Republic or a place like that, which by the way is not much more expensive than going to freaking Padre Island, it's not. It's weird. You go over there, you literally swim with the fishes, dude. They're all over you, and it's a weird, beautiful thing. But going back to Malcolm Jamal Warner, that character of Theo Huxtable, dude, is iconic. It's an iconic character. And the idea of the first season to the last season was like 8 seasons, right? The first season, he's in high school and he's telling his parents that he doesn't want to go to college. And again, Dr. Huxtable was a doctor, and I believe the wife was a lawyer, right? And it was one of the first times, if not the first time, you had a very successful couple. You had the Jeffersons before that, but a successful African American couple being displayed there, right? They were upper class. You saw that with Fresh Prince of Bel-Air a few years later.
Yeah, weren't they both doctors, right? They were both doctors in that
Doctor
series.
and a lawyer. Doctor,
Yeah,
I think
something
doctor
like
and a lawyer.
that. Yeah.
But Malcolm Jamal Warner's character, Theo, does not want to go to college when he starts the Cosby Show. And the last episodes were him graduating college. So it shows the evolution of him because he was the cut up. He was the one who would get in trouble at school. He was the one who was skipping school. He was the one doing the things he shouldn't be doing. But he became more mature as the show went on. I remember the episode, Joe, with Stevie Wonder jamming on the one. The jamming on the one episode where they're asking him to say it. The Stevie Wonder's there. They're asking him to say something into the microphone. He goes, jamming on the one. And then they start playing that phrase over and over and over again. Like they recorded that clip and they're incorporating that into a song. So much going on with that show. But then it has to be ruined by the fact that Bill Cosby is a sexual predator, right? Malcolm Jamal Warner appears to be a pretty decent man.
Yeah.
Dead. Bill Cosby, still alive.
He died at 54 years of age. He was fairly young, man. He wasn't in his 70s. He was in his 50s. 54.
54.
And pour some out for him and his family, man. It's going to be a tough one to get over because you're on vacation. Daughter's with her dad, and something like this happens, man. That's going to be something she'll never forget and not in a good way. So hopefully the final moments that they did get to spend together were memorable for her as well.
It's kind of like that wrestler. You remember the Crime Time, Joe? Chad Gaspard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, him and his son got caught in the riptide. Well, he was able to get his son and get him out of it. Well, he went under and passed away, but he passed a hero, right? That's what a lot of people say. But the ocean's not a forgiving place, y'all. I mean, it's all fun and games. Just make sure you show your respect to it and keep in mind you're in their environment. That's sharks, jellyfish, swamp thing, whatever the hell's out there. Just make sure you show your respects.
Yeah, I wanted to give you an opportunity, Elias, because I know you're going to have a new episode coming out of Plead the Sith, your new podcast here.
Yeah.
Let us know a little bit more about that and when the new episode is going to be dropping.
All right, y'all. Y'all join me live tonight, 7:30 at my channel. It's PTS_TV 2025. I'm going to be interviewing my boy Mike Mayer. If y'all joined in to some of our Down for the Count episodes, that was with me and Brandon Medina. He was kind of our California affiliate. He talks wrestling on his channel. he also covers college sports, right? So y'all be sure to tune in tonight, 7:30 p.m. Once again on YouTube. That's PTS_TV 2025. I'm gonna put him through the hot seat. Mike, everyone was saying, I kind of trumped them the way I hyped it up, like we're gonna be cooking you, and we made it to a positive episode. So I owe the fans another episode where I actually go in on you, Mike. So
Oh,
you're
have at
welcome
it,
back.
dude.
You're welcome back whenever.
I enjoyed it, man. It's your territory, and I tried opening it up as much. But the thing is Elias, is that there's the podcaster, and then there's the person, right? And I am a pretty positive person, and people don't realize that. Tony Ronaldo, by the way, mentioning up that Malcolm Jamal Warner actually won a Grammy. He won a Grammy. He was nominated for a second one too. He was a musician and a poet as well. So he lost the spoken word one year, but he won a Grammy for best R&B traditional song. It was a collaboration that he did for that song. So very multi-talented guy. Tomorrow's Wednesday over at PF Chang's, Joe. What do they got
Yes,
going on over
sir.
there?
So let's go ahead and show the graphic for them, man. And we're going to go ahead and show what they got going on. So on Wednesdays, it's Wines Days. So they got half off bottles of wine and champagne every Wednesday, all day. And if you go to PF Chang's on Wednesday and you run into Sean Quintero, the manager of the PF Chang's over at La Cantera, tell him that the Area 210 podcast sent you.
Very nice, man. Very nice.
And
Joe?
also, Mike, we got to give you some love too,
Oh, yeah. Dude, it's been a really good year for my business, man. My business, rocking and rolling this year. 210-508-0369. So I talk money for a living. So whether it be investments or insurances, whether it be retirement accounts, rollovers, whatever the case may be, I am now blessed to manage $22 million worth of assets, making the march to 50 million. And at that point, that'd be amazing. But I 20. The first hurdle to hit is 10, then you get to 20, then the next hurdle is 50. I've jumped the first two biggest hurdles in the industry. I'm very, 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 very grateful for that. But my number is 210-508-0369. Benefits packages are going out for your work, probably in September or so. People have questions about life insurance, disability. What does this mean? What does that mean? Give me a call, 210-508-0369.
And everybody does like that graphic that I made for you, Mike, by the way.
There you go.
And also got to say one more thing before we go ahead and call it a wrap. So if you enjoyed the show and you enjoy what we're doing, make sure you hit that like button, man. Like the little alien showing you right there. Go ahead and hit that like button. We have at least 27 people in the chat right now watching us. Hit the like button. It helps the show grow, and we appreciate the support.
Joe, tomorrow we'll have to go over this ESPN article. It says, what is the worst decision every NBA team has done in the last 5 years?
Oh,
it's great. That's a great topic. What is the worst thing the Spurs have done in the last 5 years? Because I'm looking at what they list as the number one mistake. Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, save that for tomorrow, though.
Yeah, and I think we should talk about that in the topic that I wanted to talk about today, but we didn't get to, about some of the best run front offices here in all of the NBA. Like who are the best teams that have a good front office, and where the Spurs rank might surprise some people.
Mm-hmm. Do you think the Spurs front office gets more love than they should be getting?
No, I think they get more hate than they should be getting love, and the grand scheme of things, looking at this article and seeing what transpired to put them in the position that they're in right now, which is they're in pretty good position. They're not overpaying for any of their players, so to speak. They didn't go ahead and bite on Giannis and give up their whole entire future, or for, give up their whole entire future for a Kevin Durant. So they're in a pretty good position. And I think that we as fans are very critical of the team. But when we look at it in the grand scheme of things and see what they did, I think they're better run than we appreciate,
Very cool. Elias, thanks for jumping on in, man. We apologize to everybody for the technical difficulties we had there. Joe, you're talking about former Spurs legend Blake Wesley signing that deal with the Portland Trailblazers. Shemania yesterday reporting that former Spurs legend Doug McDermott signed a 1-year deal for $3.6 million to return to the Sacramento Kings. We couldn't afford big buckets for $3.6 million. We need someone who can shoot threes, right?
The Spurs aren't trying. They're trying to win, but they're also not trying to win too many games, Mike. Let's be honest here.
It's still a
Not
soft
on,
tank.
not,
bro.
on, not on the timeline. Not on the timeline.
Not on the timeline.
Yo,
They
if
said,
you
don't hit.
if y'all want to hear about the Spurs 3-point issues, y'all go ahead and check out Locked On Spurs' episode with Joe Garcia. Great episode, Joe. So if
Thanks,
y'all
man.
haven't heard it yet, head out there after this show ends.
Very
And
nice.
Antonio Ornales, you kept saying I was checking to see if ice was breaking in. Now my daughter's on the side doing backflips and shit, so I'm just making sure she doesn't hurt herself.
I'm sure, Seth, you got things to do with your daughter too. So thank you for
Yes, sir.
donating your time to spend some time talking sports with us.
No
Very
problem,
nice.
bro. It's all love. Thanks for
Everyone have
having
a
me.
fantastic day. We'll be watching Plead the Sith tonight. Looking forward to it. Put out the link. I'll retweet it, man. Very nice.
Alrighty, appreciate you.
All
We'll
right,
be
man.
out there.
We'll see you all tomorrow. We're out.
Tomorrow's number
Peace.
400, baby.
400. Let's get Pledger on.
Yeah.